This is my humble request to you. Please read the whole text in your own, and I'm sure that you will get an amazing understanding of the text. So, hello guys. Today we will discuss the summary of a very prominent text which is called Indigo, written by Satyajit Ray. At first, Indigo is the collection of supernatural stories, and the title Indigo focuses our attention on the central issue. What is the issue? The issue is that the exploitation of the indigo sharecropper peasants at the hands of cruel British planters. So, before starting the summary, first we have to know about the writer of the text, and Satyajit Ray is the writer of the text Indigo. Who is Satyajit Ray? Satyajit Ray is an Indian film director, screenwriter, author, lyricist, magazine editor, illustrator, etc. And Satyajit Ray is widely considered one of the greatest and most influential film directors in the history of cinema. Let's begin the summary of Indigo. At first, here is the protagonist of the story, and the protagonist's name is Anuruddha. Anuruddha is a 29-year-old bachelor living in Calcutta. He works at an advertising agency and lives in a flat on Sardar Shankar Road, and he owns an ambassador car. He has been writing stories and getting them published in magazines. Though lately he has just been reading about 19th century indigo plantations in Bengal and Bihar. Anuruddha's father was a well-known physician in Munger, where Anuruddha was born. His older brother is 5 years older. Their father died when Anuruddha was only 16. So he and his mother moved to Calcutta, where he studied at St. Xavier's and got a job in advertising due to his fluent English. Anuruddha's childhood habits stayed always with him, including a desire to get away from the noisy, hectic city. His friend Pramod, a former classmate, now posted with the forest department in Dumka, invited him to visit. Anuruddha set off on April 27, a date he had never forget. Dumka was 200 miles away, but Pramod did not suggest driving, as Anuruddha prepared to leave after an early breakfast. His father's friend, Uncle Mohit, and neighbor Bhola Babu delayed him with questions, and he finally started his car at 10 past 11. He reached Bardhaman at 12:30 and had a flat tire at the Panagar military camp. A few miles later, he hit a thunderstorm and then had another flat. Lost in the rain, he made a wrong turn and reached a dead end, blocking the road for an oncoming truck. The sick driver and helper pushed his car inside, realizing his mistake. Anuruddha backtracked 3 miles to the right road. Realizing he likely would not reach Dumka that night, Anuruddha continued on until he saw a house's orange light through tree branches. He locked his car and walked to the cottage, where a strong moustached man answered his knock. Anuruddha explained his situation and was directed to a nearby dark bungalow for the night. The man and his wife gave Anuruddha food. The large bedroom reminded Anuruddha that the bungalow was from British rule. The caretaker, Sukhanram, said it belonged to an old indigo planter whose factory was nearby. Settling in for the night, Anuruddha worried about his car on the road. He was suddenly awakened by scratching at the door, realizing it was a hound's howl. His watch and suitcase were gone, his hands seemed pale, his face was English, and his clothes had changed. Though his mind was his own, but his body was acting independently. He uncontrollably began writing a letter dated April 27, 1968. He wrote fearing his impending death and regretting his greed and unfairness towards family. He wished to be buried with his wife and son and was worried for his dog Rex's fate. Then he suddenly saw the dog dead. The gunshot woke Anuruddha back to normal on April 28th. His car was repaired. Caretaker offered tea. To Anuruddha, it had been a terrifying, unbelievable night. The 100th death anniversary of an English indigo planter. He doubts anyone will believe his strange tale, and that's the end of the story Indigo.